Yes. So, I am basically going for a come as you are kind of aesthetic because this is my room right now. It's basically chaos. This is what happens when a person, I won't specify gender, but I'll say definitely if you are femme leaning, you understand that getting ready for a wedding takes a little more and things just kind of get tossed about. Like these shoes, this thing. Oh, I like forgot how to put on makeup. It's too much. I just want to be with this guy. I just want to go cuddle him because he has hurt paws. And I just gotta go for come as you are because I can't just be a complete impressive star every time. It's too hard to be that bright of a star. Sometimes I just have to be what I am, which is really tired from a wedding and switched into the old sweatpants in the parking lot. Good thing I didn't get caught because that's kind of what the poem is about. Is this friend of mine who got married this evening? It's very religious, very Christian. Um, so we have a lot of different thoughts about the universe and the way of things. But I really love her. Like, I really love her. I saw her tonight in her dress and just started crying. I'm probably going to start crying right now. Um, and what I pointed out to my boyfriend after we left was like, sometimes I really envy normal people. People who do things at like an acceptable sort of cue this next thing, cue the next step, have the baby, do the marriage. Um, who are just so set on their beliefs and so sure of their moral compass and their next step and the next one and who's there guiding them and the words and the language, and it seems so set, such a sure bet. Um, and I don't get that. It's not really my style. And I smile and I can get along with those people very well. And they probably can't even tell that I'm like, I'm a witch. Please don't throw me out. But no, it's like our relationship, this gal and I, has been very close and very tight. And I will say, and I mention it in the poem, that she has sat with me on my porch, and I'm crying. Um, Without waving any kind of torch to burn the witch, knowing my sitch, knowing exactly who I am, what I believe and what I think, not wagging a finger or damning me in any way, has sat on my porch and prayed for me in such potent, potent intensity and commitment to the prayer. Um, that it swept me off my feet in this like movie way. To see someone pray with that level of conviction and separating themselves entirely from the moment, taking themselves out of the equation and not shunning me for not seeing what she sees or believing what she believes, but just loving me and asking for that love and healing to come to me. It makes me very emotional. It's really interesting. It really does. Because we can see things so differently. But for me, it's all about being genuine. Whatever you believe, it's you can feel it when someone sincerely just wants your place on the planet to be a little softer and a little easier. And that's really rare. It's really special. So, I don't know. I get all like up in my feels because I'm just so like very bohemian and very confused and very like amused but amazed but in a daze and going through many phases and singing the praises of many deities and ways to be. But then I sort of get jealous of that certainty that, like, this follows that, and 2 plus 2 equals 4, and we're sure, and that's it. I've never been able to think like that. But gosh, she's a princess, and she's a vision, and she's always the kind of person, the kind of friend. I wrote her a really beautiful poem, and I don't know where it is, and maybe I'll find it one day. I mean, I gave her maybe the only copy, but she cried when she read it because it's like, I think she knows. It's very obvious that I, like, genuinely love her and that we have grown in this friendship that is very special. And we're both actors, so we both feel things. Like, tractor plowed a whole field full of feelings. Both just have a lot of feelings on our plate, but in such different ways. Isn't it great that we're all so different and swayed by different breezes? Some of us by Jesus, some of us by other peeps and deities and ascended masters and question askers. So I just have a lot of questions. I always have a lot of questions, and when people are like, nope, it's definitely this way, I'm like, okay, well, I don't know. Geez. Yeah. So, I wrote a poem about it, and maybe I'll show her sometime. She's going to, like, Greece in a day, and good grief, Greece, let's talk about jealousy. Whee! I'm jealous. I mean, she's much younger than me, you know, so it's always just, like, an interesting thing to watch people much younger than you, like, get those life steps, have those big celebratory moments, and just own it and be in it and do the dance with dad, and next comes this, and everyone's glad, and I don't know, things have always seemed so much, like, joltier and more jumbly and more, like, bumbly and confusing and, like, what's next? I don't know. Do you know? And who knows which way is the better way or best? Big, good, better, big, bigger, better, best. Who knows? We all make these comparisons. I wish I had your chest. No, I love your chest. No, I like that dress. No, I hate my dress. Your dress is best. Like, I don't know. We're all making all those comparisons all the time. Who could unwind all the, like, ways we compare ourselves to one another? It's hard, I think, to just, like, uncover only gratitude and nothing else, and just be like, this is me, I can't change it, that's it, I'm grateful. And maybe that's part of what I've always, like, envied in her, is just kind of always walking with that grace and gratitude, always, and never being like, because she always feels that there's a plan and she's in the hands of that plan. And I'm always like, do I do this? Do I go here? Am I going to change the whole nature of the universe if I, what? Is there a God? Are they reading my thoughts? Do they like them? Am I on the naughty list? Is God Santa? Is there a Santa? Is Santa God? Is the, am I in charge? Are you in charge? Is it fate? Is it destiny? Is it free will? Is it determinism? Who's Whose decision is it? Is it mine? So yeah, that's my mind. That's a sampling. Okay. I'm trampling my own sanity here because I'm very tired and I need to go have some tea and sleep soon. But I'm going to do this poem about just kind of what I felt. And I wish I had more time because I really wanted to do like a poem that was all about her and how I see her. But this is just kind of what came out of my feelings. And sometimes that's the only way to go, is like the way you're going. And we have no way of knowing whether that's the right way or not. But here it is, on the spot. It's called The Push and Pull of the Traditional. I have often envied how truly feather soft her essence is. I watch her and think, gee whiz, has she ever really screamed at someone? I mean, just laid into them until her throat went numb. I don't think she's ever let a problem get that big within her being. Seeing gentle, calm, respectable softness is so staggeringly different, juxtaposed with the loud, thoughtless rumbling we've all become accustomed to. Anytime I walk through her life, it's so clean and smooth and nice. I'm used to more, let's call it spice in the air. More, oh, God, don't look over there. More swearing. That dinner at 7, sitting at an actual table, sharing, just isn't what I'm used to. But we switch up our sight and gain new ways to view this life. I watched her today become a wife. The pace of change gives me that feeling like being afraid of heights on a shaky bridge across a great ravine. Everything shifting so quickly is like turning green on a boat, rocking too much. I clutch to what I have and fear what I could lose. I hear people chatting their wedding chats about moving and purpose and careers, and I want to cry that I don't have a clue what to do. So much fear. I sometimes envy people who never doubt that the sky is blue. They don't feel removed from the human experience, and they trust God to give clearance on all the big decisions. They don't seem to wonder what's hidden within the folds of what they're told. I get jealous of those who seem to always have a handhold along this bumpy ride. I've never been able to subscribe to definitive answers. The swerves come more steadily for me, it seems, and I sometimes scream, fearing what's ahead of me. She is shades of cake frosting cream. She is a light beam. She puts her dreams in the hands of a creator. She is a gentle communicator. She doesn't anticipate with anxiety what comes later because she's listening and uplifting in the now. I don't know how she carries herself so steadily. She's always readily available to listen with such genuine attention. She doesn't carry that tension I feel in myself, always testing my limits and my health. She helps with a smile. Her style is crisp and fresh and never noisy. She's so pure, but not in a hoity way. She's prayed for me so genuinely, it brought me to weeping. When I lost my ovary, she held my hand, reaching up for her God, asking them for help with a force I felt and was in awe of. She draws motivation from a heavenly location I've struggled to believe is on the map. She taps into waves when she prays, and I feel that it's real. I can't deny the apparent appeal of feeling certain of anything. I swing so wild between the vines of myself and mystery and curiosity in my mind. I find precise answers unsettling, and the people betting on them too. But she and I have always cut through that which separates us to generate a connection that is deep and speaks to our individual spirit styles. When she smiles at me, I know she loves me and doesn't judge who I am. But I scooch uncomfortably in my chair in big rooms of people that I fear think I'm damned. It makes my hands sweat. I try not to let it rattle me, but it does. It's like summarizing a person's whole life by their SAT score and ignoring who that person is or was. I mean, the core of them. It sends me spinning quite dizzy when people keep themselves so very busy with talk of a being they can only presume to be present. When you possess an opinion that fits in the minority, it's difficult to defend it. I've always felt myself on the outskirts, and sometimes it hurts, so I guess that's where the loving to pretend bit comes in. I spoke with her about the concept of being pure and the guilt left by the accusation of a thing like sin. I was playing the part of a Seventh-day Adventist virgin in a play. I approached the role like a surgeon, so carefully examining each layer of this character I cared so much for. I based it on this beautiful friend I speak of. She gave me such love as I dove in past the deep end of exceptionally personal questions. She did her best to address them all so thoughtfully. It struck this vulnerable spot in me, and I sobbed about my own longing for the innocence I lost to some degree, or at least that's what they call it when you don't agree to a moral contract as family or society sees fit to draft up. I raised my cup to her tonight and thought of that interview I gave her in my car. We sat beneath the stars, and I cried, thinking of those I allowed to access my body without really asking myself why, or if they had earned it. I wasn't as concerned with my own energy as I was with impressing them and being what they wanted me to be. I didn't see until much later that my level of trust and optimism didn't match most male behavior. And I don't feel that I owe it to any mortal or savior to explain those choices or apologize for them. But listening to her, my sweet friend, did send me into some unfamiliar emotions. She went on this clean, straight path. She was proposed to over the surging ocean in a movie moment. I fight and have always fought those components of life that amount to normalcy. That flow, that knowing that you know. I reject it and envy it almost equally. I can only speak to the radar within me, but I am always steered towards the swirling, gorgeous, hideous chaos of Eris, the goddess of undulating, ever-unfolding uncertainty. She and I dancing wildly, bare-breasted, while others bow their heads and ask to be forgiven. If he has risen, could his thoughts not have shifted in all this time? Have we bothered to find a way to pose that question? It's only a suggestion. I guess that's my confession. I want things to make sense in past and present and future tense, to not be on the fence about anything because the lines of connection are so clear. But I fear that seems to be a lovely dream that seems easy to jump on one team in favor of. But my version of spirit and love isn't trying to get in the ring with theirs just because I think having an affair is more natural than it is evil. Just because my praying happens in a field or by the river instead of being delivered beneath a church steeple doesn't mean that it isn't equal to the most pious and pristine love offerings. If we sing together with our hearts, we should never have to shoot darts out of our eyes at one another because some difference is uncovered, some variation of the norm. A storm forms inside me when people chide me about my wild soul. These human vessels hold what they hold. We're told to change the tone or frequency or quality of whatever substance we contain. It causes me pain to think that certain people want me to drain what I have and replace it with a new version that feels bad if it's ever impulsive or assertive or a big flirt in a short skirt or unwilling to forgive. But we live in a river of choices. My voice honors all voices who speak love's language, be it a subtle whisper or a boisterous delivery. Consider me a slippery slope of mixed belief and hope I've nearly lost to grief but managed to keep close to me. I'm right where I'm supposed to be. I'm worshiper of the universe's immensity, and I pray for those who, like me, don't know and can never truly say they're sure. I light my candles for the buttoned up and pure, as well as the unraveled and the well traveled wild side frequenters. Whomsoever the great sequencer of these extraordinary patterns might be, or heck, maybe the whole committee of forces taking the lead. I believe good hearts are apparent without any allegiance to where it sets. Where I believe good hearts are apparent without any allegiance to where it places its loyalty. If I see that good heart, well, then you're good by me. She has a heart about as good as a heart can be. Though our differences might make others see us both quite differently, I think we both lead with love very similarly. It's so familiar when she embraces me. Perhaps we became friends so we could see how paths can lead in such seemingly opposite directions. But at the summit, the reflection can be soulful love for all the travelers. I may swerve a bit more, but I'm sure when I tell her what I've seen on my detours, she'll laugh and reassure me that it doesn't mean I failed the journey. We turn very different keys in vastly contrasting doors, but whatever we each have in store, I know her door is open to me and mine to her. When we allow our souls to speak instead of our words, all those things that separate us just blur. So I'm not sure of anything except love is important, and that's what I'm going to leave it with. So, what a night. What a wedding. Yeah, we're all betting on something, aren't we? Hopes and the Pope, I don't know. Hopes, ropes that lead somewhere. The Pope, someone who cares. I don't know. We all have varying degrees of prosperity and despair. But if your love is there, I can see it. And hers is. And her new hubby's, for sure. Like, love, abundant, blossoming, shining, shimmering love. So, what more do you need? Okay, that's me for tonight.